The release of Captain America: Brave New World has reignited discussions about why the Marvel Cinematic Universe (MCU) has moved forward with a new hero bearing the iconic title of Captain America. For years, the mantle was inseparably tied to Steve Rogers, whose journey as the Star-Spangled Avenger began in 2011 with Captain America: The First Avenger. That film not only introduced audiences to Steve's origin story but also established the core values required to embody this legendary role. Dr. Abraham Erskine, the mastermind behind the super soldier serum, specifically chose Steve as its recipient, not because of his physical prowess, but because of his unwavering moral compass and selflessness. The transformation process known as Project Rebirth turned the once diminutive Rogers into a physically formidable warrior, giving him the strength, agility, and endurance to stand alongside, and often lead, Earth's mightiest heroes. However, what truly made Steve Rogers an unparalleled Captain America was never his superhuman abilities, but his indomitable spirit, sense of justice, and relentless dedication to doing what is right. These qualities made him not just a superhero but a symbol of hope, leadership, and integrity throughout the MCU. For nearly a decade, Steve Rogers was the heart and soul of the Avengers, guiding them through some of their most harrowing battles, from the Battle of New York to the time-bending conflict against Thanos. Yet, in Avengers: Endgame 2019, Steve made the life-altering decision to retire from the battlefield, choosing to pass on his shield and the weight of its responsibilities to Sam Wilson. This decision was far from arbitrary. Sam, a fellow military veteran, had dedicated much of his post-service life to helping others, particularly counseling veterans dealing with PTSD. His compassion, resilience, and unwavering sense of duty made him a natural successor, someone who could uphold the ideals of Captain America in a new era. Captain America: Brave New World represents not just a changing of the guard but an evolution of what the mantle symbolizes. While Steve Rogers defined the role for a generation, Sam Wilson's journey as Captain America offers a fresh perspective on heroism in a modern world grappling with new challenges. Unlike Steve, Sam lacks superhuman enhancements, making his version of Captain America more grounded in human resilience and strategic expertise rather than sheer power. This shift brings compelling new storytelling opportunities as the MCU continues to explore what it truly means to be a hero. The decision to replace Steve Rogers was not about diminishing his legacy but rather about expanding it. The essence of Captain America is not confined to a single individual. It's about embodying courage, honor, and the willingness to fight for a better future. As the MCU moves forward, Brave New World promises to solidify Sam Wilson's place in the superhero pantheon, proving that Captain America is not just a person, but an ideal that transcends generations. Why Steve Rogers is no longer Captain America in the MCU. Steve Rogers' defining trait has always been his unwavering selflessness. Time and time again, he's made the ultimate sacrifice, throwing himself into impossible situations for the greater good. From diving on a grenade in Captain America: The First Avenger to standing alone against Thanos and his army in Avengers: Endgame, Steve has never hesitated to put others before himself. His journey reached its emotional peak at the end of Endgame, when he was entrusted with returning the Infinity Stones to their rightful places in time. But after a lifetime of duty, Steve finally made a decision for himself, one that would change the course of his future. Instead of returning to the present, he chose to stay in the 1940s, reuniting with Peggy Carter and living out the peaceful life he had always dreamed of but never thought possible. When Steve reappeared in the modern day, decades older and at peace, it was clear that his time as Captain America had come to an end. In one final, symbolic act, he passed his shield and the mantle of Captain America to Sam Wilson, marking the beginning of a new era. Steve Rogers may no longer wear the stars and stripes, but his legacy as Captain America lives on. Why Sam Wilson is Captain America, not Bucky Barnes. Steve Rogers always understood that Captain America was more than just a superhero, he was a symbol. When Steve chose to pass down the shield, he knew the world would still need Captain America, not just as a fighter but as a beacon of hope and values. That's why he chose Sam Wilson over Bucky Barnes. It wasn't about physical strength or combat skills. It was about embodying the ideals that Captain America represents. Sam Wilson's introduction in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, immediately establishes him as a man of integrity. A former pararescue airman, Sam dedicates his post-service life to helping veterans cope with PTSD, showing empathy, leadership, and a deep sense of responsibility. These qualities make him the perfect successor to carry on the Captain America legacy, not just as a hero, but as someone who unites and inspires. On the other hand, while Bucky Barnes has certainly redeemed himself after being freed from Hydra's brainwashing, his past makes him a complicated choice for the role. Even though he wasn't in control of his actions as the Winter Soldier, the world still remembers his dark history. More importantly, Bucky is a more withdrawn figure. Not the kind of leader who can step into the spotlight and rally people like Steve or Sam. His skills and experiences are better suited to operating in the shadows, something that makes his upcoming role in Thunderbolts a more natural fit. In the end, Steve's choice wasn't about favoritism or combat prowess, it was about legacy. Sam Wilson represents the very ideals that Captain America stands for: courage, unity, and selfless service. That's why the shield belongs in his hands. Would Chris Evans ever return as Captain America? With Captain America: Brave New World marking Sam Wilson's first cinematic outing as the new Captain America, the MCU appears to be solidifying his place as Steve Rogers' successor. As the film's box office performance remains to be seen, one thing seems clear: Chris Evans' time as Cap may truly be in the rearview mirror. However, Evans himself has left the door slightly ajar for a possible return. In a 2023 interview with GQ, Evans reflected on his time as Captain America and acknowledged the possibility of reprising the role, stating, "I'll never say never, just because it was such a wonderful experience. But I'm also very precious with it. It's something that I am very proud of. And like I said, sometimes I can't believe it even happened. And I wouldn't want the black eye if it felt like a cash grab, or if it didn't live up to expectations, or if it just felt like it wasn't connected to that original thing. So, no time soon. And ultimately, I really hope to just maybe act a little bit less in my life." Given the ever-expanding multiverse saga, the notion of Steve Rogers returning, perhaps as a Captain America variant, doesn't seem far-fetched. Speculation intensified when rumors swirled that Evans had been cast in Avengers: Doomsday, fueling hopes of his return. However, Evans himself was quick to shut down these claims in a January interview with Esquire, stating, "That's not true. Though, this always happens. I mean, it happens every couple years, ever since Endgame. I've just stopped responding to it. Yeah, no, happily retired." Taking Evans at his word, it seems there are no immediate plans for him to don the shield again. But as any seasoned MCU fan knows, actors' denials don't always hold weight. Andrew Garfield famously insisted he wasn't involved in Spider-Man: No Way Home, only to make a dramatic appearance in the film. Could Evans be playing a similar game? For now, any potential return remains pure speculation, without an official confirmation from Marvel Studios. Fans will have to wait and see if the original Captain America will ever make his heroic comeback.